Hello, no one. Whoop, whoop. It's Friday. It's the first Friday stream ever, which is kind of great because um, I think it's just a great way to end the week. I'm actually really excited. Even if a lot of people don't join today, I'm really excited because I think we will only need a couple participants to really get this conversation going. Um, I'm sure you guys are aware. If not, we can kind of talk about the basis of open AI and ChatGPT. But it's going to be really, really exciting because, um, I mean, I think the interest and just the expectations of what OpenAI has done has kind of really shook many people to the core. It's been really exciting for website publishers. It's been really exciting for me, who for people like me who are kind of familiar with code but really can't code, especially to the capabilities that Chat GPT can. So projects, what the heck? Can you guys still hear me? My screen is black. The heck? Oh, weird. All right, my screen is freaking out, but yeah, I think it's Open AI has really just opened the window of opportunity for so many people. If you're not, extremely tech savvy or a well-established and gifted coder, so I'm kind of excited to see the type of projects and things you guys are working on. Um, so yeah, I think there's a lot that I could share. I'd be happy to share, the kind of the things I've been working with. But yeah, I really want to really like a lot of the times I will be running my mouth the whole time talking about X, Y, and Z and how it's related to Ezoic and whatnot. And of course, there's a lot of ways this is connected with Ezoic, and we're going to talk about that as well. There's also a couple really exciting features that I want to talk about. Actually, more just settings opposed to anything. But yeah, this will be really exciting live stream. I'm actually really excited to see where it goes. Um, using OpenAI has really just been a massive, massive learning experience for me right now. So um, I'm hopefully this will just be another learning session for me. You guys are always teaching me new things in these live streams. So I'm ready to just kind of continue on that trend. I'm going to give people a handful more minutes to join because, I did just start and people usually need to gather their bearings. And I sent out a couple of things this morning in regards to notifying people about the live stream. So I want to give them some time. Um, to basically log in and join in. But yeah, if you guys are in here, um, green smoked skull ready, yes. Easy, I just liked your stream, bro. Thank you, I appreciate that. Honestly, I'm really excited to get kind of some engagement from you guys because while this has been a cool learning experience for me, as I said before, I really want to see what you guys are kind of doing this. I've seen some insane SEO strategies. I've seen some incredible content that's been created, both as an outline and actually as just fully published content. But I've seen people hard code websites from scratch in 30 minutes using ChatGPT. So um, I'm really excited to kind of see where this goes. I mean, my keyboard doesn't work. It's annoying. Omar, thanks for saying that because my screen was all black and it was flicking in and out. So I'm glad you guys can see and hear me. Omar says, "Hi Charlie. As a Google AdSense certified partner, has Ezoic had any updates from Google regarding the future of their ad network with the advent of AI and how this will impact partners and publishers?" So nothing formal yet, as you guys can probably get a good gist and kind of understanding of that. Google's kind of taken off guard, I would almost say. Of course, I don't have the actual insight since we are a certified partner. It would be cool to see if I actually did have some more detailed insight to this. But to be honest, I really don't. So something that we've really just been kind of keeping an eye on is more, what are the searches in terms of uptrends, like Bing. I was about to say binge. Bing has obviously been a massive, massive trend, an uptrend in searches. I signed up for the new Bing because I want to see how that works. I'm really excited. I'm still on the wait list. I'm like four days deep on the wait list, so hopefully I can get on that soon. But I'm really excited to see because I'm pretty sure they use GPT, version 4 or 4.0 or whatever that might mean. It's just the newer version of it. But it seems like it cites pages and articles really well. It also seems like it can kind of understand if you were to insert a URL, it can kind of analyze that really well. I think the free version of ChatGPT works well with that right now. I don't have a plus version of that or anything. I'm literally just on the standard version of it. I'm annoyed my keyboard doesn't work, and I'm afraid if I open up my laptop, it's gonna freak out. Let me see if I can figure this out really quick. But yeah, while I give, I want to give people just maybe 2 or 3 more minutes. So thank you for remaining patient. If you guys have been doing any projects with ChatGPT, whether it's just content creation, SEO strategies, outlining, creating websites, creating, whatever it is, I want you guys to write that down in the comment section because I kind of want to verbalize them so you guys can get a good understanding of what other people are doing. And I think now is a really good time where we can kind of work together and brainstorm and say, hey, well, I've actually had this idea and this has been my project. And someone will say, hey, that's actually, pretty cool. I could actually see myself doing something similar, but I could build off it in this way or that way. So yeah, I would love to hear what projects you guys are kind of doing right now with ChatGPT, and kind of see where things are going from there. While I try to get my keyboard to work, because that would be cool if I could type and all. What a crazy concept. Nope. Let me unplug this. I don't even know what this does. Nothing broke yet, so nope. All right, well, instead, that's not working. I'm just going to go ahead and start answering some questions. Thank you guys for remaining patient. I know I've been kind of giving people some extra time here. Cool. Let's get started. There's actually a lot of things I've been doing with ChatGPT. I'm sure you guys have as well that are actually, also outside of straight just the publishing world. So let's start just talking about that. I can even share my screen. Maybe we can even do like a base project really quick because I think that'd be really fun. Omar says, hey, Charlie, I already answered that one. How will my impact partners and publishers? So this was kind of a thought I had yesterday. So I don't think that, Google search is just going to be gone. There's obviously going to be a demand for original content always. I think that's just something that the AI is always going to lack regardless. I don't think it's going to ever be able to analyze original thoughts, create original thoughts by analyzing content. I don't think that's the way that is the way the language model works. So I don't think that it's going to, replace it. It definitely will not. But it would be, I wouldn't sit here and say it's not going to have a severe impact on what the demand might be. But again, this is just something that we're going to have to play day by day with. And I think right now is a really, really good opportunity for us to capitalize on the technologies that OpenAI offers while the demand is still there. I'm not saying it's going to be gone or it's going to be lessened, or anything like that. But for instance, I think we've all been really good at producing tons of really good content. Google is even saying, we actually, months ago they were saying, straight AI generated content is no good. But I think people were kind of raising their eyebrows and saying, well, if ChatGPT does such a good job of answering your question, that's kind of the whole idea of how, why Google was created and their entire algorithms. We wanted to give the user the best answer that they have when they ask Google Search Console. So if the best answer is straight AI written content and it's factual and not made up, then why wouldn't it be able to rank? And I think Google's still saying, organic. Original content that is written by a user will be rewarded first. I don't think that will change ever. So there's always going to be leverage of an original thought of a really well-written article that answers a question. That will always have priority, and I don't think that will ever change. I truly don't. But I do think we're starting to take a step back and say, okay, well, if the user is asking this question in Google Search Console or Bing or whatever it might be, the best thing we can do is just to give them the actual answer they're looking for, not something original that doesn't answer their question as well. So I think answering the question is going to be a massive priority. And I think Google and I know Google will reward original content above that. You just got to make sure we're answering the original question. How many times am I going to say that before I move on? I'm sorry. Uh, okay, let's keep going. Will you see? This is a similar question, but coding Shakishkas. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that. Apologies if I did. Will you see in the near future Chat GPT replaces Google search or Google as search engine, and how Chat GPT was built and how they will charge money for future for using it? What is the business model of Chat GPT? So I'm not sure. I'm going to kind of answer this backwards because I think it'll be easier for me. The business model of Chat GPT, I think, is just going to be honestly probably a licensing and an API access type deal. I don't think that ChatGPT will not be free. Of course, I have no idea the actual insight to their business model. I think that's a really good question, which is also why, if it were to be taken away and there were to be no free versions, I do think purchasing it would be obviously extremely valuable if you were to use it correctly. And there's so many use cases for it. So I think right now, especially for the time being, while people are so skeptical of it, they're going to keep a free version always readily available so people can kind of understand how it works and familiarize themselves with it. Let's go backwards. How will they charge money for using it? I think using it as like for the API will always that will be a paid service for sure, and I think that's pretty understandable in terms of their licensing. And how Chat GPT was built. I wish I could answer that better and give you an actual, like a really detailed answer. But based off what I know, is it's just a language model that has basically a system built out of gathering all the resources on the internet and analyzing that and answering your question. I still think it has a lot of improvement to do, basic calculations, and there's a lot of limitations to it currently, especially in terms of how you prompt it. Um, but in terms of replacing Google, it's so hard to answer. I know Microsoft is doing a really, really intense job of trying to kind of overtake Google's throne or their monopoly or whatever you might want to call it. Um, but if you guys have seen examples of how Bing works right now, I think it's interesting because they actually do a really good job of sourcing articles. So if they're pulling a majority of information for one sentence or for one statement, they will actually cite the original source. So I think that's going to be doing a really, really good job for Bing search, because if people do want more information based off a sentence or a statement or a factual item, then they're going to actually have a way to directly click a URL to go to that page. So whatever that page is, it's going to be rewarded very, very highly. So I don't think that original content written by publishers is ever going to be demandless. I think there's always going to be a demand for it. I don't think so. It kind of seems like this is a pretty overwhelming question. I don't think that it's going to be killing the blogging industry. I think the blogging industry, I've only actually been in it for about 2.5 years or so now. Basically since just before I started working here at Ezoic, which is around 2 years ago. I feel like the market has always changed a lot. There's always updates, there's always new things to go about it, but I think the core structure of it is being just shaken up a little bit. So I think people are really worried that like the end of blogging, but I really don't think that's the case. I think this is just going to be shifting how we kind of work and how we're going to kind of adapt to the market. I think there's, as I said before, there's tons of adaptations that we've all gone through before. They've just been a lot more minor. So no, I don't think it's going to be going away. Saying that, I'm not from the future. I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't tell you exactly what it looks like. And I don't know if Microsoft has more broader plans outside of kind of their new chatbot and Bing. I'm sure they do, but again, I don't think it's going to overtake this at all. Yeah, so I mean, I think it's understandable to be scared, but I think among anything else, especially while our economy is basically in a recession, it's very easy to be scared, but it's also important to see the opportunity present for this. There's going to be a lot we'll be able to do, and there's going to be a lot of projects that we're going to be able to create that would have been outside of my skill set prior. Again, like we said before, I've now hard coded 2 websites from scratch, basically within an hour. Very basic, of course, but you can easily expand on that. And while I might understand HTML and CSS and Java, on a very base level, I'm definitely not out there coding a website from scratch on my own. That's something I'm just not capable of doing. But now I am, which is really cool with a free version of ChatGPT. I've done this twice now. Like I said, you can basically give it a prompt and say, hey, I need your help. I'm going to be creating a website. It's going to be about, I always use this example, but it's going to be about like the automotive industry. I want it to be an informational site. I want to include a tool on it as well. I'm going to need your help. And then I'll say, I want to include, a blogging section. I want, X, Y, and Z in my menu. I want, links to certain images. And then, I then went on to, gosh, what's the tool? The one of the many art AI generating tools. What is it called? Open Market? Is that what it's called? I forget. But then I've created, art via, other AI models, and then just use that for my website. So in theory, it's an entirely AI generated website. Um, so yeah. This is a good question. I don't think it was generated by a single person. I know OpenAI has been been in the works for a good bit now. I want to say I thought I saw on Twitter or some newsline media that Elon Musk basically invested in their group. I forget what their group is called, but I think like 4 or 5 years ago. So they definitely had, a good bit of structure at that time. And then on top of the funding they received, probably from Elon and other people. Don't quote me on Elon funding it or investing in it. That's just what I saw. Again, I don't know if that's factual, but I'm sure they had some type of funding years before this. If Google's kind of going to be going, hey, let's invest billions of dollars into this, I'm sure they had some type of structure and organizational, support before. So I don't think this was just one individual coder. And if it was, absolutely kudos to them. They probably deserve to be a billionaire, and their next 3 generations probably deserve to be billionaires, because what an incredible market. I think this is a really cool thing, because I think similar with how crypto was kind of presented to the market, it's like it's decentralized, it's for the best of the people. We want it available to all. We don't want it to be an exclusive type deal or ideology. So I think OpenAI is taking a similar approach. It's just an open marketplace for people to come in and use those resources. So it's really not saying like, let's keep it exclusive and you and I, X, Y, and Z can't use it. It's really just saying, these are tools that were just, being presented to everyone so everyone can kind of take advantage of this amazing technology. And of course, there's going to be business behind it. So it'll be licensing and APIs and etc. But yeah, seems like I was going off a bit out of a tangent. Hopefully I answered your question. If maximum of people use Chat GPT, who will be going to Google search and land on our blogs? So I think tons of people are still going to go land on your blogs. Again, original content's never going to be replaced. So I always think there's going to be a place in the market for it. The competition might be a bit higher, but as you guys know, there's a system to this. And if you were to basically get on top of this system and take advantage of it, I think it's actually going to be more rewarding than ever. I really do. Um, Sorry, I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Will it possible to chat GPT to give advanced information if we publishers stop publishing up-to-date content? Will it be possible? I mean, technically, yes. I don't think that people are just going to stop creating original content. And I think what he means for the up to date is I think the language model of Chat GPT 3.5 or whatever is the public version, public and free version right now. One of the major limitations that people always talk about is it actually can only pull information up till like I think the beginning of 2021. So that's what Dr. Mastan is talking about here. I think Bing and the newer version of ChatGPT can pull more recent articles that are basically up to date. But also, in theory, if every single person on the internet stopped writing articles, from today in the next year, then technically ChatGPT wouldn't have current information to pull because that's exactly how it works. That's not going to be the reality for sure. Even the website, the coders or the business that built OpenAI, they could create enough content to supply um, basically current events for it. That would be a major task. But again, I don't think that's going to be a reality. Again, I'm just speaking from my perspective and what I think. This is nothing factual. But yeah, I'm just going to create a little. I'm just going to create a little thread in the community right now. So if anyone else wants to join, they can do it. But I know Omar has another really good question right here, and I think there's definitely things that Ezoic can do and is doing actually right now to kind of help publishers stay on top of this AI world. Because I think that this major change and it kind of being brought to the market has been really like holy majoli, what's going on? Like this is a lot, and everyone's like, holy, we got a lot to stay on top of. But I still think we're still really early on the learning curve. So learning curve, might go like this. But I think it's important that if we just stay on top of it, we'll always be utilizing it and taking advantage of it to the best. Sorry, give me 30 seconds. But yeah, I'd be happy to join to like share my screen and we can run through a quick example of how you could basically create a website, basically from scratch. I'd be happy to do that. I think that would be really cool. Let me just pull it up really quick. I won't be actually like inserting this code directly. Sorry, let me do so. Cool. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's just run through a quick example. I won't be actually copying and pasting the code, but I can, I'll be happy to share the project with everyone here after. Cool. Let me share my screen really quick. And let me answer your question, Omar. Can Ezoic create a step-by-step guide for publishers on how to use AI in their content so Ezoic publishers can stay ahead of the game? Absolutely. I think the first step here is going to be creating an article for you guys to basically understand how it can be utilized. But I think another way is just to basically just pull it up and show you guys what we could actually be working with here. I'm just going to pull my screen over here. Bear with me for a second while I pull this up. Thanks for joining me today, though, guys. I know we did it on a Friday, which is a little bit different, but let's do a quick little project together. Okay, so someone who is in here right now, who wants to think of a fun project we could all do together? So let's just create a website really quick together. Does anyone in the comment section want to take, let's say, hey, let's do an informational type site, but do we want to do recipes? Do we want to do like an automotive thing, or what do you guys want to do? Feel free to comment whatever you want, and I'll kind of go from there. But if not, I definitely have 100,000 ideas of where I could go with this. But yeah, I just want to show you kind of how this can be done. I think, not only in terms of creating content, but also in terms of creating an outline, and also how you can basically prompt it so you can actually generate some code. All right, I'm not getting any ideas in the comment section, which is totally okay. I'll give you guys 10 more seconds. You guys want me to give an informational site on recipes, or should we do it on, I'm going to say car stuff because I love my automotive industry. All right, let me show you guys kind of how I've done this in the past, and then we'll go from there. Cool. Let's say, sup bot. I like to talk to it like I'm a friend because I'm just weird like that. I am going to create a new website revolving around the automotive, oops, I can't speak, automotive about the automotive industry. Let's do that. People on the latest and greatest. So I said, sup bot, I'm going to create a new website revolving around the automotive industry. This will be an informational site where I, make sure I spell that correctly, where I can update people on the latest and greatest. So I just want to give the bot basically a good idea of what I'm kind of to do here, what I'm trying to do here. I can even prompt and say, I want the website to be primarily focused on user experience and very easy to use. So even saying something like, I want the website to be primarily focused on user experience and very easy to use, yeah, that's kind of the same thing. But chat will kind of actually take that into consideration and say, okay, that sounds like a good idea. We'll go for a more simpler trajectory opposed to like something a little bit more complex. So it's going to say, hi there, it sounds like an exciting project, blah, blah, blah. I can offer tips. And then some of the tips are have a clear and simple navigation menu, use high quality visuals, make it mobile friendly. So these are all really good tips. As you guys know, ChatGPT is extremely, extremely impressive. So the type of information that it'll provide here is definitely something, that is credible. Provide valuable and up-to-date information. Of course, that's exactly what we want to do. We don't want to not answer publishers' questions. Use clear and concise language. We'll primarily be focusing on English, obviously. Include user reviews and ratings so we can have like a comment section. But I agree, user reviews, especially when we're talking about the latest and greatest, sometimes empirical evidence is the best way to go. Of course, if we want to write automotive information, we could just basically write an article off the brochure of the car. But that's not original. That's not as cool. Empirical evidence is usually the best way to go about this. So I can say, sweet. I can even say something, I want to focus on the European market, semicolon, or we say like hyphen, primarily Porsche, I cannot type, I'm sorry, Europea, market, primarily Porsche, BMW, and Mercedes. I'm just saying this because they all fall under the same umbrella of kind of luxury and whatnot. And then I'm going to say, I want to create this. This is where it gets cool, guys. I want to create the website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Again, I'm kind of just setting the scene for what, the chat's kind of going to understand here. And I also might say, let's focus on this higher class of cars because maybe that'll attract a certain type of audience to our website, and we kind of want to, attract a certain type of audience that will be kind of rewarding and high paying. Oh, happy kid. Hey, Charlie. Nice to have you in here. I think this is gonna be a really fun project. So, again, I won't be actually uploading this to Visual Code or anything. But I will be showing you guys how this can be done. It's super easy from there. Cool. HTML, it gives me a kind of a definition there, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, so this is where I can say, yeah, we want to use an API to add functionality. We're not going to be doing that today. That's a little bit more complex, and definitely requires like Python, especially if I wanted to include an API key from OpenAI. Okay, so let's say something like this. Create some basic HTML for my automotive website. Oops, why can I not spell and or type? Create some basic HTML for my automotive website that makes it really easy for the user to navigate and find the articles we will write. And I can even say include, let's say 3 categories in the menu. 1 for Porsche, 1 for B. I cannot type. I don't know why my brain is broken. I normally can't type that well, I'm not gonna lie, but a lot better than this. And 1 for Mercedes. I also want you to include a page, a link to the About Us page. What else? Contact Us page and privacy policy. So this is where it gets cool. Sorry, I don't know if my finger's broken or if my brain is fried because it's Friday. But this is where it gets cool. So we've kind of set the idea. AI knows what project we're doing, aka the bot. So now we can see what it really does. Simon Harley says tropical fish. Oh, Simon, I wish you said that earlier. That'd be such a much cooler project. I really dropped the ball on that. So it says, sure, here's some sample HTML code for your automated website that includes a simple navigation menu and links to your About Us, Contact Us, and privacy policy pages. So it's saying, we have a header, automated website, my automated website. Of course, we can replace that. And then it's going to give you the body, header, nav. It's going to give you a list of the links with an href to these pages: Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, About, Contact Us, privacy policy. That's the end of the navigation. And then in your main, your main content can go here, then your footer. And so it's saying this is, very simple and not really that complex. Can you please create some basic HTML, or not some, I'm not gonna say basic, can you please create HTML code for the main section of my website? This is where I can post and preview my newest articles that I write. So I didn't add the question mark, so I probably should have done that, but I think it actually does a really good job here. Oh, I have Gaz in here. How's it going, Gaz? Right now we're just I wanted to kind of show you guys some of the capabilities that ChatGPT has to offer. I was telling them earlier that I've been kind of just hard coding a few different websites just to kind of familiarize myself with this and kind of learn how this process goes. And I kind of just want to show you guys the gist of it now, which is some of the capabilities. So let me plug in my computer while it dies, while chat serves my every need. Let's see if this cord works. No, it does not. Aha. Here's an empty outlet. Beautiful. Plug that in. Cool. So you can see in this example, in the main section, man, I'm all over the place today. All right, in this example, the main section contains an H1, so our main header, to introduce the section, followed by a section element that contains a series of article elements. each article contains an H2 heading of the article with a brief summary of the article content and a P tag. And link the article using a anchor with an href to attribute set to the URL article. Cool. So this will basically give us a really good, oh yeah. Oh guys, well this is kind of how it would look if you wanted to try it on your end. And Happy Kid, I'm happy to drop my email for you if you guys want to kind of. So yeah, so straight from here we can open something like Visual Code, something like this where. So we have it here. This isn't a different project I was working on. I was kind of trying to create a product here that will basically be like a gift suggestion, and that's been pretty fun. I definitely have a lot more work to do on it. Let's just do a. I don't want to post it in here now because I'm probably gonna mess something up. But you could just open something like Visual Code or whatever you want to use to just copy and paste. You can literally go through, press copy, and then paste it in. And then you can say, okay, now that we included this, let's say you didn't know where to insert this, even though ChatGPT does a really good job. Your main content goes here. This exclamation point shows that this is a comment. It's not actual code. So it's saying your main content goes here. So not only does it create the code for you, but it also creates the layout of how you can basically use it. So I would know to input this main section directly right here where it tells me to. Let's say I still didn't really know how to do that. I can say, where do I input this code? Yeah, I cannot type. I apologize. Where can I input this code? And it's going to give you an idea and say, hey, this is how it's built out. This is where we're actually going to put it. You can input this code in the HTML5 of your website. Here's how you can do it. Open a text editor such as Notepad, Sublime Text, or Atom. Copy the HTML code from my main section of your website and paste it into the text editor. Save the file such as index.html or main.html. Be sure to save it with the HTML extension so that it can be recognized as the HTML file. Upload the HTML file to your website using FTP, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now I'm going to say, while I answer my question, basically because I said, where do I input this code? Where do I input the main section? Wait, let me do it like this. Let's see if this better understands my question here. So I can say, where do I input the main section of the code above so that it appears in the main section? That was a really terribly framed question, so I don't know if it'll really pick up on this, but let's kind of see where it goes from there. So yeah, so even though I kind of phrased this question very poorly, it still does a good job of understanding what I was trying to say and do. So it's saying to add the main section of the code above your website so that it appears in the main section, you will need to do the following. Open up the HTML file of your website in the text editor or the host website, blah, blah, blah. Locate the section of the HTML file that contains the main content of your page, typically, denoted by whatever the Pac-Man symbol. What was that even called? The main section. So yeah, it'll literally say, look, find the main section and then copy it in here. So then if I didn't understand that before, I could just say, copy this and then follow along the steps it provided here and then insert it there. You can replace the P tag with the code for your article previews like this. So it does a really good job of generating the code, but then also showing you what the code actually does. So if I didn't know what an href was or what an h1 was, it would quite literally tell me. So let's say, for instance, I didn't okay, save the file and refresh the page to see the new section of the main content on your website. Let's say for whatever reason, I've never seen code in my life. What does H2 stand for? I'm kind of just trying to show you guys that not only is ChatGPT really good at generating this code, but it's really good as like a hands-on learning experience because I am very I'm a visual learner for sure. I do like to read as well, but I'm absolutely a visual learner. On top of that, I need some type of experience in actually performing, the subject or the task at hand in order to fully learn it, because someone could tell me something pretty basic and I'll say, okay, yeah, I think I understand it, but until I really go through and see it and do it, that's when I'm like, okay, I got this, I understand, I've seen it from scratch to the end. And then I can kind of go from there. So this is how another way, and why I kind of love ChatGPT, honestly, because it really breaks things down and it can be like a dummied version if you want it to. So I said, what does an H2 tag stand for? H2 is an HTML tag that stands for heading level 2. It is used to denote a secondary heading or a subheading within a section of a web page. HTML provides 6 levels of headings, from H1, most important, to H6, least important. By using different heading levels, you can indicate the structure and hierarchy of the content on your web page. Headings are also used by search engines to better understand the content and organize your page an organization of your page. So of course, as you guys know, this is really important in terms of SEO efforts, and kind of going from there. A couple questions. Oh, Annex is in here. Hi, Charlie. Recently seen the feature on the Ezoic dashboard to enable the best money-making videos, which include Humix. But the revenue from Humix is super low. Will this grow and when the AI optimizes? Not ChatGPT related. No, I absolutely have time to answer that question for sure. Um, So yeah, sorry, I will absolutely answer that question. I actually have that written down. I just realized now that I grabbed my old notebook, not my new one. But I still know what I wanted to cover. I wanted to cover the revenue focused button in dashboard that you guys all have available to you. And I want to talk about the things that it actually enables so you guys are aware of the changes being made. Um, Sorry, there's a couple really good questions coming in, but I kind of just want to get through this really quick. Okay, so now that we have, I could just copy this code directly by copying it, putting it to visual code. I can say, now I have my basic HTML. Say, thanks, bot. Oops, because I can't be mean to it. I don't know. I don't understand how people do that. I know it's seriously just a robot, but I'm too soft. Thanks, bot. Now can you create some basic CSS for the website? Um, Remember, UX is most important. I want some of the colors to be let's say I want some of the main colors to be red, blue, and dark blue. Very random, but you can really give it just random commands like this and it will generate some code for you. I still can't type. I said Caillou. Can you? Sure, here's some basic CSS code to get you started. So this is super cool. Set the font and the font family. So it does a really good job again of showing you the actual styling in terms of a comment comment, so you can actually see what it does, and it's spitting out stuff for my body, for my header image, for my navigation. And it can even take into consideration things like color. If I give it that command, I can say, hey, I want you to use bubble letters or something fun like that. But yeah, see, as you guys can tell, it's literally just creating a bunch of code for me. Of course, I think after every single step, it's important that you actually upload it to your file, save it, and then view it to make sure nothing's crazy. And then if you're like, hey, maybe the content's really thin or it's not centered, that's really important. So we can then give it more commands and it'll actually update it and tell you where to make these changes. So I mean, it's still going, as you guys can see, but I could quite literally copy this code, create a new file in my visual code for, CSS. What would it be? Oops, sorry. So this is a different project, but I could create just a second file. So I have my HTML. I could do an app.css, and then I can seriously just copy and paste all of the CSS that it generated for me right here into my CSS. Again, I am not a coder. I am not an engineer, but I'm just want to show you guys how this can basically be used. I'm gonna say awesome. And let's say I checked out this code and it wasn't centered because I didn't really give it that command. Awesome. Can you make sure the articles in the main section are centered, are center aligned, and 3 articles wide? Generate some mock articles to fill in the main section. These articles can cover Porsche 911 models. 911 models, BMW M series, and what did I say? Mercedes, Mercedes AMG. I don't know if it's actually going to create these mock articles, but I just kind of wanted to test this. I actually haven't said like just create mock articles for me and insert them there, but I'm curious to see if it actually does it. Sure, here's an updated version of the CSS with the modifications you've requested. I've also added some sample articles to demonstrate how they might look. So let's see how it actually does this for us really quick, because I actually haven't tried generating mock data for an article like this before, so I'm curious to see what it actually does. So it's giving me a URL if I want to insert a header image. It's giving me the hide display flags. So yeah, this is just giving me the updated CSS based off the suggestions I made. I said I want articles center aligned and also showing in the same section 3 articles across. So let's see if it actually will do that. It's giving me my background color. I'm assuming EEE as a background color is probably one of the colors I asked for. Let's see, color code EEE. What does this stand for? A very light shade of gray. So that's probably some sort of a background. Let's see, the hover is, let's see what this is. Let's see what F00 is. Okay, so that's the red that I asked for. And I know I asked for blue and dark blue. This is going to be the background color for my navigation. Let's see what it gave us. Oops. Dark charcoal. So yeah, it's just giving me gray. Gray for some CSS, black for some CSS, and then it's going to give me that red and blue or whatever I asked for. So yeah, and then so look, it says, okay, so here's my updated CSS based off the things I gave it, basically off the prompt I gave it. And here's some sample HTML for the article previews. It's saying, so I already have my H1. It's going to say H2, Porsche 911 Carrera. The 911 Carrera is an iconic sports car. Let's see if I can scroll. Is an iconic sports car that has been in production since 1963. With its rear engine layout, timeless design, and exceptional performance, the 911 has become a symbol of excellence in the automotive world. It absolutely has. There's no doubt. And then it decided to do an article on the BMW M4, an also favorite of mine. Cool. The BMW M4 is a high-performance version of the 4 Series Coupe with a turbocharged inline-6, agile handling, and luxurious interior. The M4 is the ultimate driving machine for those who demand the best. For those who demand the best. That was neat. The Mercedes-AMG GT is a front-engine, rear-wheel drive sports car that delivers a thrilling driving experience with its sleek design, powerful engine, and advanced technology. The AMG GT is a true competitor in the luxury sports car market. So as you guys can see, this is so cool how it can basically do this for you. And I already has created hrefs to link to articles, so I can basically just go ahead and do that. And I know Simon says, oops. Sorry. Oh yeah. Don't forget to showcase how we can use ChatGPT to create high quality content. You can work with, can tropical fish live in tap water? So that's a great question, but let's say, to keep it on track here, let's say, please write me an article covering the entire race history and accomplishments of the 9/11. So let's see. I asked for an article covering the accomplishments and racing history of the 9/11. So you guys will be able to see how it's just going to be able to spit out some beautiful information about the best car in the world, absolutely objectively. Um, but yeah, Annex, I promise I didn't forget about your question. I am circling back. But let's see the type of the example it gave for the 911. The Porsche 911 is one of the most iconic sport cars in the world, and its racing history is just as legendary as its design. From its introduction in 1963, the 911 has been a mainstay in motorsports, dominating tracks and winning races around the globe. Here's a look at the race history and accomplishments of the 911. The 911's first racing success came in 1965 when it won the Monte Carlo Rally. In the following years, the 911 would go on to win countless races, blah, 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 Targa Florio, Daytona, Sebring, endurance racing, 24 hours of Le Mans, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this is just a really good example of the type of content that ChatGPT can create. Of course, we want to add some originality to this, but something for factual like this is really cool. Yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. I agree, and it is funny. Okay, so now let's say I'm actually just experimenting really quick before I do this. Insert this article under the 9/11 preview you gave me before. Oop. So it's not even done yet, but let's see how it actually does this. Insert this article under the 9/11 preview you gave me before. Let's see if that works. I have not tried it kind of like this. So let's see. Okay, so here's an updated HTML code with the article about the race history and accomplishments of the Porsche 911 included under the preview. So I think that's about as far as I'll go with that because I think I'm kind of going a little bit too deep into this. Oh, so Joe, I actually have seen this. You can basically download this Chrome extension to save your ChatGPT prompts, and they can be reused. So I'm actually curious for you, Joe. Can you comment? Can I actually share those prompts that I create with other people? Let's say I shared this prompt with you that I'm creating. Could I share that with you, and could you then, what am I trying to say? Could you then add on to it so we could be like collaborative? That's kind of what I'm really curious about. But yeah, look, it's giving me a div from H3, 911 Ultimate Sports Car. And then look, it's literally creating that for me as well. It's creating H3s for Ultimate Sports Car, race history, accomplishments. It is so cool. But yeah, it's going to give me this entire article, or maybe not the entire thing. We'll see. No, it is going to give me the entire article. Okay, so now I'm actually really curious if I can save this. Porsche, sorry for being annoying. But yeah, Annex, I'm actually really excited to. I probably should have just done this the whole time, but maybe I'll make that. I'll make that a project next time. I'll set up a file so we can actually create a website and view it as I create it. But I wanted to show you guys that it will literally do the entire project for you. It created the article and updated this. Now I could literally just insert this into the code that it has above, and that'd be good. And then I could say, create the code for me to link link to my HTML. Include instructions of where to add it along with. No, that's fine. I cannot type. Include instructions on how to add it to my existing code. I don't think I've typed more than 6 words without a spelling error yet. Okay, so I said create the code for me to link my CSS to my HTML. Include instructions on how to add it to my existing code. Sure, you can link your CSS file to your HTML code document by using the, I don't know the word, Pac-Man symbol link element in the head section of your HTML document. Here's an example. So it's telling me go into my HTML, go into the section of my code, and enter my HTML code here. So you can see this link right here is, it's going to be linking my style. It's going to be linking my CSS file. In this example, blank element tells you the browser to link to the CSS file named under styles.css, which should be in the same directory as your HTML file. Make sure to replace style CSS with the name of your own CSS file, so I could say something else. You can add this code to the head section of your existing HTML code between the opening and closing head tags. So it's saying, you can just insert that code between the head tags here and here, or here, and it would be down at the bottom. But you guys kind of get where I'm going with that. And then I can actually do the same thing for JavaScript. I think I proved my point here that the capabilities of chat are pretty insane. And I could go on for this for another hour if I really wanted to. But then again, just to show you guys, just to kind of wrap this up, now generate JavaScript for this site to work and function. This is such a basic and bland prompt, but I think just for examples case, I wanted to show you guys. You're gonna want to give it some more of a prompt so you can tell it exactly how to function and whatnot. But yeah, as you guys can see, I can then upload it to another file and then save it all together. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So I know there's a lot of talk about why it's scary and why it could replace X, Y, and Z. Okay, so MD's got a good question in here. So yeah, I'll wrap up this section of it. I just wanted to show you guys that ChatGPT is not just scary, and it's not something that's going to replace everyone's job and whatnot. I just think it's really important to learn how to use it, and kind of become familiar with it with just random things like this. I've created websites from scratch like this, and again, I'm not a very technical person. I've created my financial plan for how much money I want to save every single month. If I want to save X amount of dollars, in 6 months, so I can say, I make this much money every month on average. I pay this much for my car, this much for insurance, health insurance, this much for gas, this much for food, this much for whatever it might be. And then I'll say, I want you to calculate basically a financial plan for me so that I save either like 10% of my income annually or monthly or biweekly, or I want to save, X amount of dollars in 6 months. It can basically create that plan for you with as much prompting as you give it. So I've done that. I've done it, I've used it to kind of calculate the success of our business, both for the next month and the months to come. I've used it for creating new content for my website as an outline, but also taking a lot of the information that it provides. I think some of the harder part that I for sure do not understand how to use yet is how to code Python and then integrate an API to the code. That's definitely something that is a little next step. Maybe that's just because I haven't really tried, and I definitely just don't understand it conceptually yet. But that's it's something we can all learn and kind of just take on together. I mean, I understand where you guys are coming from, and I agree that it's definitely going to shake things up a bit, but I think it's a really exciting change, and a good one to go forward for sure. Okay, back to Annex's question. I apologize for the massive tangent there. I just kind of wanted to shed some light on why this is so cool. Let me pull up something for you guys really quick. I wanted to show you guys exactly what Annex is talking about. So there is a new button in your dashboard, which is going to be like a maximize revenue button. I don't think you would miss it if you saw it. Let me show you what that button looks like, and then also I can show you guys what it actually does and what it actually enables. So let me show you real quick. Yeah, I want to say thank you guys again for joining me today. Um, I mean, I know it's Friday, so I'm sure you guys have a lot going on, but I appreciate you guys stopping in and hanging out with me for a bit. Cool. Let me share my screen again. Sorry. Cool. So this is good. This is just an example site, but this is just the dashboard of another site. And as you guys can see down here, it says new, maximize your site's revenue. Enabling this will turn on all the best settings to maximize your revenue. So it's going to be including all of the different ad types, turning on Humix, Grow and Engage, and basically everything from there. Let me show you guys what it actually enables. There's maximize. Yeah, as you guys can see, I cannot type today. I don't know what is wrong with me. Okay, so Ezoic just added a button to maximize your revenue automatically. Here's how it works and why you should turn it on. So this will show you where the button exists. And these are the things that it turns on. Just so you guys are fully aware if you guys notice any changes with your site after you enable it. So some of the things that we'll do under the Ezoic ads section of your tab, Ezoic ads tab of your dashboard. I can't speak. So again, that'll be right here, Ezoic ads. So if you go to Ezoic ads, all of these settings will be found under here if you want to make changes. But what it's going to do is it's going to set all your traffic to 100%. It's going to turn on anchor ads, vignette ads, and AI ads, and enhanced placeholders, sticky sidebar, native ads, left side rail, right side rail on. So this is actually misleading now that I read it because we actually won't turn on the right side rail and the floating video at the same time because they both will be covered by each other. So this is actually something that we don't want to do, and I need to offer this suggestion to update this article. You guys saw it here first. But yeah, we don't want the floating video unit on and the right side rail because when they are both showing, they'll be overlapping and that could lead to a Google violation. It turns on Humix, turns on Grow, which means if you upload videos to Humix, your own videos, other publishers can then share your videos on their pages as long as the content is relevant. And we do have basically an automatic detector for this, so that I'll do that for you. But yeah, this is an amazing feature that you guys should for sure take advantage of if you do have videos. And if you don't, Flickify some articles, upload them to Humix, allow others to share. And yeah, I know there was a question earlier about the demand needing to increase. Who asked it? But the revenue from Humix is super low. Will this grow when the AI optimizes? So it will grow, but not as much as the AI optimizes, but more as just the demand fills for it. So that's more of what it is. But I would just continue to make videos in any way you can, and then keep uploading them, and kind of go from there because I have actually seen a ton of success with Access Now publishers creating video content, especially for some of these, from the higher paying niches and whatnot. And then, yeah, they've seen some great success from it. Can we integrate ChatGPT API to our website? Example, our users can have ChatGPT conversation inside of one of our pages. So yes, you can. You'll need to actually get the licensing for it, and then you'll get access to their API, and then you're gonna have to code that API key using Python to your page. Of course, you want to fit into the content of your site, so you probably want to create. You're gonna have to create the model for it, and you're gonna have to prompt it for what you want. So for me, it might say, I want to create like a chat GPT bot on my website for telling users, how to maybe like dissect certain troubleshooting issues or troubleshooting codes with the cars. Or maybe I can tell it to, chat and tell them about what type of oil they should use for their certain type of car engine. But yeah, you'll get a licensing and API, and you'll have to code that into your website. So back to Joe's comment about the free AIP RM. Chrome extension is great for saving ChatGPT prompts that are effective and can be reused. And then I asked them, can I save this prompt, share it with someone else, and then also have them collaborate on it? And Joe says you can, which is super cool. I definitely did not know that, but that's going to be super handy as we kind of use ChatGPT internally to create projects and kind of and make innovative steps forward. So thank you for sharing that, Joe. To share more though, each one shared before that must have 5 community upvotes. Ah, gotcha. Um, I have about 15 saved in my personal custom folder though. Super uber useful. So that's super interesting, Joe. That'll probably be actually a project for me tonight or this weekend to kind of mess around with that and see what that is, because I'm also super curious to see what kind of prompts and things you guys have uploaded. And Joe, if you want to send me an email of some of the ones that you have, I would love to check them out and give you an upvote. Hi, I don't know anything about the come visitors from Firefox, i.e., Safari, Yahoo Bot, Unknown, or Android. How can I solve this problem? My site, all real visits from Google Chrome browser. This is the real Google search traffic. My site, all traffic comes from USA, UK. Will my site not be approved after this? My site lasts 3 months. Newer media ads. Around $3,000 in newer media ads still live on my site. So please approve my site because I'm very interested in working with Ezoic. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. It sounds like you're in the review process. But yeah, if all your traffic is real and whatnot, then you're totally good there. Um, if you were commenting from the community, I can check out your data there. Let's see if you wrote anything. No, I don't see any comments in there. So yeah, if you want me to check out your website, you can just send me a quick email, or you can just reach out to us in the community. We can go from there. But yeah, Joe, please do. Feel free to absolutely reach out to me, and I'll be happy to check things out. I'd love to see the prompts you've kind of created. Again, I think this is it's such a cool project. It's really innovative, and it's something where you should all be kind of handy with. So maybe next week, or maybe I can do this every week if you guys care or like it at all. Maybe I'll try to figure out new projects, and we can work together. So maybe for next week, I'll actually create a new file in my Visual Code, and maybe I can show you guys what it'll look like on the page, and we can make live updates. I can, maybe I'll do tropical fish next week because I know that was a suggestion before. So that would be super cool. But yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to cover. I wanted to show you guys why ChatGPT is a really exciting and cool project, and not so much of just a scary one. Oh yeah, Vincent, I'll be happy to share my email. So it's cstever@ezoic.com. Just like this. Feel free to reach out and email me, and that we can stay in touch throughout the week. If you're saying, hey, Charlie, let's do another project together next week when you guys do a live stream, I want us to be covering this and this. Of course, if it's within my capabilities and my skill set, I'll absolutely do it. But yeah, I think that was a pretty cool example of how it can be used in one of a million ways. Again, I think some of my favorite projects have been creating a financial plan for me so I can save X amount of money in 6 months. Let's see what some of the other ones I've done. Of course, I've done a ton of content creation. Let's see. Oh, not that. Um, So yeah, I've been doing it to calculate basically potential earnings for customers if they make X amount of changes. If they enable, like if they were to enable Humex and vignettes and earn like 10 to 15% more, I can show them what that basically looks like long term. So that's been a really cool project. Again, um, yeah, I've even used it to help calculate like potential, earnings in other ways. I've seen people use it to write cover letters. I've seen people to write, fix their resumes. So yeah, I think there's just so many cool projects and so many different ways I would like to go. That it's really exciting. Of course, it's scary, but I think we can kind of tackle this, and I think we can learn together. which would be then really, really fun. Paradise Way says hello. Hello to you as well. Anik says, have a nice weekend, Charlie, and everyone in the chat. So I'm going to verbalize that. Anik says, have a great weekend, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend too, as well, Annex. Paradise Way, I'm doing great. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's been a good day so far. It's Friday. I know some of you guys are in the UK, and I got some people from Ireland. I got some people in India. So, I know you're much later in the day, but I wanted to say, happy Friday, and I hope you guys have an unreal weekend. Um, but yeah, that's kind of everything I wanted to cover today. I really appreciate you guys checking in on a Friday. I hope you guys have some exciting plans for the weekend. If you do have a chance, try to do a little project on ChatGPT if you can. It's fun, it's exciting. I really caught more of a bug of it than I thought in a good way. Like I obviously was really interested in what it could do, but I think once I started using it, I kind of was just like, oh my God, like I need to just keep using this, keep using this, keep using this. How can I connect my web with your software? So what you'll actually want to do is the easiest way, if you are already using Cloudflare, and if you have Cloudflare name servers in your registrar, all you'll actually have to do is just go into the Ezoic dashboard, sign up, create an account, which takes 30 seconds total, and then just sign into your Cloudflare account in the Ezoic dashboard, and you'll be integrated just about instantly. If you're not, you can integrate through our name servers. And if you do the same thing as I said before, you can just go ahead into the dashboard, find the Ezoic name servers that we suggest to change, and then go insert those Ezoic name servers at your registrar, allow those name servers to propagate, and then you'll be good. Awesome, it's Friday. So exciting. I'm excited for the weekend. But yeah, I want to say thank you guys again for checking in. I know this was kind of a shorter one, but I really just wanted to cover, I really wanted to just go over that project of how we can basically all better ourselves in the current market. Hard coding a website like that also makes it really fast, so that's exciting. But yeah, I'm going to wrap that up for the day. I really appreciate you guys all coming. I hope you guys have a great weekend, a safe, healthy weekend, a great rest of your Friday, wherever you guys are from, Friday night, Friday morning. But again, I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. I'll show up for you guys every week. Again, if you need help with anything at all, whether it's connecting to our platform or finding this maximize revenue button or anything along those lines, seriously, just reach out to my email and I'll be happy to help. Again, thank you guys and have a good one. Cheers.